Welcome to 3 months of Fluency in Kinyarwanda. This is a program that I'm starting to help you learn how to speak Kinyarwanda in just 3 months. In these 3 months that we're going to be working together, you will learn how to speak Kinyarwanda from the basics to a level where you can be able to carry out a conversation. And I've organized this program in a way that every day you will be having something to do, and at the end of the week you will be having an exercise to carry out, covering everything you learned during the week. And at the end of the month and at the end of 3 months, you're going to be seeing the level up as you move forward during this challenge. So I thought I could create a course in this, but again, just creating a course that you can go and take online, that only is not enough, which is why I set up this challenge for it to be our accountability, so that you will be able to follow up every day. Because you might take a course and then after one day you watch a video, the next day you watch another video, but you don't have consistency. So I've set up this challenge for us to make sure that you have accountability. You can take seriously every day, you take something, and at the end you are going to see improvement. So let me show you what we'll be covering during this course or this challenge, whatever it is. It's a course in the form of challenge, but this is what you're going to be covering during 3 months. First of all, it's the first week you're going to be covering basic conversations, meaning salutations, greetings, how to share your personal information, how to introduce yourself, how to be polite during salutations, how to introduce your friends. We're going to be discussing about this in the first week. So we have 5 courses, 5 documents for you to go through, and they are very small documents, not very big documents, just small documents with very few information that you're going to be consuming. But the big part will be practice that we'll be doing every day, that is going to keep you accountable and growing. So this is the first part. And the second part, in the second week, we're going to be focusing on pronunciation of Kinyarwanda. So we have alphabets in Kinyarwanda and we have combined consonants. So we're going to be looking at all of this, and we are going to be looking at some rules. Like in Kinyarwanda, you cannot write 2 consonants following each other, or you cannot write 2 vowels following each other. Those kind of rules, we're going to be looking at all of that during this second week. And in this week, that's when you're going to be trying to look at Kinyarwanda words and be able to identify those words based on those rules you're going to be learning. So this is the second week, and this is going to be very intense, because these are some things that need your attention to be able to memorize these alphabets and the consonants. So I expect, if you're going to be through this challenge in the second week, to focus and take your time, because what we learn from the second week will be something that will help us during the next few weeks or 10 weeks that will be left. And in the third week, we're going to be learning how to count. We're going to be learning how to count from 1 to 10, 10 to 100, and then up to 1,000,000 or beyond. And we also be learning about ordinal numbers, first, second. We're going to be looking at all of that. And in this week, the numbers we learn from here, the counting, is the one you're going to be using during the rest of the course. So if we learn to count in the next courses, if we have to count something, I will not be using English. You only be using Kinyarwanda for counting. The same to salutations. After this first course, we will not be using any English for salutation. You'll be using Kinyarwanda for everything. And after learning counting, you'll not be using English numbers anymore. It's for you to keep practicing what you have learned already. And in the fourth week, we'll be focusing on the things that you will encounter most of the times, like the vocabularies of human body parts. Umutwe, this is a umutwe, head. We're going to be learning all of that, so that in the next courses, if we need to use that, you can be able to do that. Like colors. Do you know how do we say colors in Kinyarwanda? Black, umukara. So these colors are going also to cover them, so that when we need them in the future, you're going to be using colors in Kinyarwanda. Same to other vocabularies, like how do you ask for directions, what do you say when you're going to shop for something and you want to bargain for price? Because we have learned counting to not be hard, but we go through all of this, and every week you're going to be having practice and be able to use these words we're going to be learning in real conversations, talking to each other, talking to other people. And in the week 5, we're going to be learning about more rules, forming sentences. We have already learned how to make Kinyarwanda words. We're going to be looking at sentences. We're going to be looking at basic tenses, common verbs. We're going to be looking at those verbs. How do you put it in the future and the past? And then we're going to be practicing using them in sentences. We're going to be looking at gender, but in Kinyarwanda we don't have genders, but we will look at how are you able to then talk about different things in the plural. And we'll also be, basically here we're going to be looking at the grammar and how do you follow the rules while using Kinyarwanda. So in week 6, this is where we're going to be focusing on times and scheduling. If you are going to schedule for a meeting, how do you say the day of the week? How do you say the month of the year? And how do you ask and tell time? Those kind of things that we're going to be focusing here in week 6. And this will be connected to counting, because it's counting number of days, number of months, but we also have other names in this year. We're going to be looking at this, and we will be using this in the same sentences in the same week. We're going to be practicing all of this. So we have already learned how to count, how to introduce yourself. In this week 7, we'll be reviewing all of that things, and then we're going to be looking at how do you introduce others, and we will be practicing using dialogues covering the past weeks. So from week 1 to week 6, we're going to be having dialogues that we will be looking at to practice what we have already learned. So this 7th week will mostly be about practice. Every day we're going to be having the practice sessions. That's what we're going to be doing in week 7. And in week 8, we're going to keep learning about the verbs, and we keep practicing making sentences. We're going to be looking at more vocabularies, and we're going to be practicing all of those. Sorry, something I'm going to just came. We're going to be looking at all of those for you to understand and be familiar with how they are used, and create your own words, your own sentences. And in week 9, we're going to look back at how do you say sizes, maybe a big person, how do you say a big pen, those kind of things. How do you say shapes, maybe this is a square, how do you say it in Rwanda? Those kind of things. We're going to be looking at those things. We're going to be looking at how you describe things. We're going to be looking at things called the headline in Kinyarwanda. We look at those when we get here. And new ways, this is about culture, but since we have already talked about greetings, we will just go through this and we will be practicing as we move forward. And we'll be looking at more of traditions, but not the focus, but will be part of what we'll be doing. And in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we will be role playing and practicing conversations. So these are the things we'll be doing during these 13 weeks. So I hope if you are looking to start teaching in Rwanda, this is the right time. The challenge is now open. You can join in anytime. And when you get here, you will start from this first video. This is the previous video I made explaining what we'll be doing, but I didn't explain everything like I did in this one. And you will see we have so many checkpoints. At each checkpoint, you're going to be having a video to watch. You'll also be having a document to look into, and once you look into it, you make a submission. So a submission will be it might be a video we'll be recording or a file we upload, practicing what you have already learned. So once you make this submission, I will look into it and give you a feedback, and then you can move to the next day, up to the days, the last day, which will be after 95 days. We will be in this. So this is how it's structured, and I hope by the end of these 3 months you are going to be able to speak Kinyarwanda. And anytime you have any problem, you can organize a one-on-one with me, and I will be able to offer additional support if you need additional support. We also have a community on WhatsApp if you need it. If you need anything, just join the community and we'll be communicating with other people there for you to get a support system that will be keeping you accountable and helping you learn every day. And as I said in the previous video, if you don't want to join the challenge, there is free courses on free things you can consume on Instagram. It's Instagram/KinyStudy. So let me show you what we have on Instagram. It's instagram.com/king_study. And what we have here is different vocabularies. We have sentences, and you can go and learn from all of this. We post one every 2 days. We have a new post, and you can be able to learn from it as well. You can check this on X or Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn. You will find it on all those platforms, and you can learn from it. So if you want to learn Kinyarwanda, this is your best chance to learn with us. And I look forward to having you in the community and in the challenge. So as I said in the previous video, it's not too expensive if you want to join. It's just $30 per month. But if you want to pay 3 months upfront, you're going to be paying $60. That's about, I think you will have a discount of about 30%. So I look forward to seeing you. Let me not say so much.